problems. That's why it has an Arabic-style architecture to it. This is our stop. It's pretty cool in there. I went there with my sister and brother-in-law about a year and a half ago. All aboard? Okay. And we're off. Our next stop is Lightner Museum, formerly known as the Alcazar Hotel. Thank you. Excuse letting us go. You guys want to wave at them? Now, the Alcazar Hotel, the second hotel Henry Flagler built, and then went out of business in the 1940s. Otto Lightner bought it and turned it into the Lightner Museum. Now, Lightner, or Otto Lightner is his name, he created Hobbies magazine.
Look at
He got his fortune at that magazine company. His hobby was to collect other people's hobbies. He was a collector of collections. When he bought this hotel and turned it into a museum, he put his collection in there. He even have a set of knight's armor in there. It's pretty cool. Inside is an open courtyard. People have weddings there all the time. The first floor is a nice restaurant. Our shop will be at the open courtyard out front. You can see a statue of our founder, Don Pedro Menendez. He was from Aviles, Spain. There's another statue just like that in Aviles, Spain, where he's from. Now, he was a captain general of the Armada. We don't have ranks in our military by that. We have a major general, a lieutenant general, but not a captain general. They say the higher your shorts, the higher your rank. That's why his clothes look kind of funny. He has a sword in hand. He was very barbaric. He was not a nice guy. I'll talk more about that when we get to the Bayfront. There's a sword in hand. And I'll explain why. This is our stop.
Is this right side up?
All aboard for the red train. Fix it up and turn it into a reserved restaurant, the one on the corner.
Nice.
And the blue house in the corner also was the granddaughter's home of Thomas Jefferson, one of our nation's founders. It's now the preserved restaurant. You buy a house out here, it probably costs you about $1 million. One of these houses. On top of that, even if it's condemned. Reason being is that the city ordinance that states you have to repair these houses as traditional as possible and renovate them. It costs you more money. It's all custom done. You can't just go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get what you need. I left right here, one of the last plantation homes in St. Augustine. Not the last one. One of the last ones I can show you on the tour. Someone just bought that for $800,000 last year. It's been sitting there ever since. Hopefully he'll fix it up, maybe turn it into a museum. That'd be kind of cool. Our next stop is the San Sebastian Winery. We're going to pass the first Liga Distillery Iceman restaurant before we get there.
Can you hold the camera?
No, why don't you stop for a while?
No. I was stopped that whole time.
Raise your hands if you have a refrigerator at your house.
So you didn't record anything?
No, I hit the button.
Only like 7 people?
And I
8, 9,
recorded
10?
1 minute
Okay.
of it, and then it.
So back then, they didn't have refrigeration back in the
I don't think
1880s.
there's anything fascinating.
So if you want to keep your food fresh, you had to order a 200-pound block of ice.
That's
And you send it to your house, and you put it in an ice chest. It's no longer the ice plant, but it's the Ice Plant Restaurant Distillery. You'll be here in about 5 to 7 minutes. It's about 11 o'clock. Cigar Factory. In the 1880s, Henry Flagler would buy between 500 and 700 cigars a week and give them to his guests free of charge. Hand-rolled Cuban cigars. Whoa! You just hydroplaned. Everyone good back there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to run those people over because they were going to walk in front of the train, so. These trains don't really stop on a dime, especially when there's a lot of people on it. And it just rained too. Okay, on the right coming up is Whetstone Chocolate Factory. I'll be our next stop after the winery. Now, until by 2 o'clock, just beyond the police station is the San Sebastian Winery. At top floor is a restaurant, open on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Live music at night. Beautiful view of the bayfront and San Sebastian River to the left. Now you have the winery and the police station and college dorms all in the same intersection. Sounds like a trap to me. Now you got the winery and the college dorms were actually part of Henry Flavius Railroad. These were office buildings. He made his own company called the East Coast Railway and brought the railroad from Jacksonville to Key West. So he brought his own guests into town to fill his hotels. Pretty smart. Now the winery here does free tours, free tasting tours, free wine. So if you like wine, this is the stop for you. Between me and you, I'm not much of a wine drinker, but to each their own.
Change sides again.
Also, they grow their grapes and they grow their grapes in Tampa, so it's all homegrown here in Florida. This is our stop, the winery. All aboard for our train. You guys go. Oh, have a nice day. Okay.
Pause it for a minute. They're just getting off the train. We're not going to just sit here recording nothing.
I want to see the big place.
We just experienced Florida ice. Oil didn't get washed off the road. You guys have a nice time. Enjoy the tour of the winery.
What? Is that YouTube?
Yep.
Our last train to Florida Tech goes at 4:30, so please be out here at 4:30 so you're not left behind, okay guys?
Why?
Because I don't.
Alright. We're off. Now to my left is the police station, St. Augustine's finest.
What are you taking video of? Everything?
That building is also historical. Not hysterical.
There's the
but
speaker.
historical.
There's the guy
It's
driving.
actually the medical facility for Henry Flavius employees. If you were an employee for Henry Flavius, you have free health care. If you're not an employee, it costs you about 85 cents a month. Not too bad. So I have 2 or 3 days worth of wages max. A lot cheaper than today's standards. You can also get a free tour of the police station and get a free bed for the night.
Wow.
It's called getting arrested.
Nice.
Our next stop is Whetstone Chocolate Factory. Mr. Henry Whetstone used to work for Hershey's. He actually invented the Hershey's Kiss, then he broke off and made his own company. Too bad he didn't patent the Hershey's Kiss. It should be called the Whetstone Kiss. Our next stop is the factory here. To the left, the store's on the right. The tours here is not free, it's $8 per person, but think of it like this, you're paying for the chocolate to taste along the tour. And you get a free souvenir to take home. You get a hairnet. If you got a beard, you get a beard nut. Now Sally, there's no Oompa Loompas or where's the chocolate, but chocolate here is amazing. I don't know why they put this giant speed bump in this parking lot, but I'll go slow over as possible. So you guys in the very back coach are getting tossed out of your seats. That very back seat back there is the whiplash seat. If I hit that speed bump really fast, and you guys in the back will be getting tossed out of your seats like rag dolls. Our trains can only go so fast, because they top out like 15 miles per hour. Putting this in here was kind of a pain. Now, right now it is 2:46 p.m. The last tour is at 3:30 p.m. See when the next tour starts. Next tour started 1 minute ago. Last tour's at 3:30. It's their stop for Western Chocolate Factory. All aboard?
Change sides.
Okay, well then you do it. I'm done.
How you guys doing today? You guys do the tour of the
Gosh.
And nobody wants to watch a brick
While you're waiting. That's the thing. That's why you need to learn to
Everyone good? Okay.
pause when you're waiting.
Then we're off.
You have to edit my friend.
This is not muggy out. I was thinking it was going to be really humid after it rained. It looks kind of nice out right now. Making a right turn on King Street. You follow this road, you'll eventually hit Central Plaza, and then the Bridge of Lions to the Bayfront.
See that college? That college is great. I love that.
Our next stop is the first legal distillery in the state of Florida, the Iceman Restaurant. This side of Butler College is a lot of art buildings left and right. First Friday every month, they do an art walk. All the local businesses will open up their doors. The local artists, they can put their art on presentation for free. It's a free self-guided tour. It's pretty cool. I can't draw to save my life, but I can appreciate art.
Well, if you want to do your own tour, you would have got one of those. But since you're on this, you don't need one of those.
To the left is the Ripe and Ready Farm Market coming up. That was the location of the oldest carriage company in the country until it went out of business a few years ago. It's now a free, not free, farm market and a free petting zoo. About 3 or 4 goats in there.
And a horse in it.
Next stop is the distillery, the Ice Plant Restaurant. In the 1880s, this was the location of the ice plant. Hi, so whoever's in the very back, your child has their head sticking out. Can you please bring him inside? Thank you. I don't want anyone getting hurt. Now, the ice plant went out of business. It became the first power plant for FBL. And Florida Power Light abandoned the building eventually. It sat here until about 2013. So a local millionaire bought it and turned it into the Ice Plant Restaurant Distillery. Restaurant on the top floor, stores on the first floor, distilleries on the other side. I never ate here, but I read the reviews, up to 5 stars. You can still order a 200-pound block of ice and they can ship it to your house. I'm not sure what you're going to do with that unless you got a chisel and make a statue out of it. And just like the Sam Sebastian Winery, they do free tours. Free tasting tours. Free alcohol. If you don't like alcohol, you do the tour, get lemonade. If you're under 21, you still do the tour, you just get lemonade. If you don't want to do the tour, you can always go inside and buy from their stores. Did I mention the best part? Free alcohol. They make vodka, rum, and gin and whiskey, make it as traditional as possible. They do the tours between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. every single day. This is going to be our stop for the Ice Plant Restaurant, the first legal distillery in the state of Florida. All aboard for Red Terrain? You guys getting on? No? Okay. And we're off. Now we're going to make a right turn over California curb. Doesn't make so much sense to me, but I'll go slow as possible so you guys aren't getting tossed out of your seat. And as I said before, that very back row back there on the back coach is the whiplash seat. Alright. Now we're going to turn back into Lincolnville, make a left turn on Bridge Street, go back in time to the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
How expensive the property.
Well, just like every single state and city in the country, we have a dog to Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. You guys don't look impressed. Well, you should be. Out of all the streets named after Dr. King, he only marched on 4 of them. Our street being one of the 4.
Oh my lord.
Oh, that smells, man.
It was that weird
Saw
stuff.
that rain while I was going into the sewers right here.
Thank God you guys are on the other side of the screen.
Anyway,
They're
now,
disgusting.
see, Augustine played a huge role in the civil rights movement. If the events that transpired here didn't occur, it's very possible that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 may or may not have been passed by Congress. So my right here coming up is one of the last plantation owners in Augustine. Not the last one, one of the last ones. Now, I'm not sure if you guys recall, but during the Civil Rights Movement, before that law was passed, the Civil Rights Act of 64, there was a bunch of kids that were swimming in the pool. White, black, Mexican, it didn't really matter. They're just kids. They're not racist, they're just kids playing in the pool. And some guy decided to put bleach in the pool.
Oh my
That was all
God.
over the news, all over the nation. It happened here in St. Augustine. I mean, it's bad that it happened, but if it didn't happen, it's possible that that law would have been passed. Because right after that happened, it made it big. It was all over all the newspapers throughout the country, and then the Civil Rights Act of 64 was passed. So even though it was bad what that guy did, it was kind of good that he did it because that law may not have been passed if he didn't do it. Now Dr. King was here for about 2 or 3 weeks, so we just crossed over
Condemned house.
John Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, where he marched twice. While he was here, he was feared for his life. People were trying to kill him. And his White House in red trim, he stayed here one night. There's a Bible inside there signed by him, inside there, the family Bible. See here's the marker out front, it's called the Freedom Trail. There's 34 markers throughout the city. It's a free self-guided tour. And the Freedom Trail dates back to 100 years before the Civil Rights Movement to the Underground Railroad. Now we're on Bridge Street. Make a left turn on Cordova. It's called Bridge Street for a reason. In the 1800s, the location of one of the oldest bridges is right here. This was actually called Cordova Creek, and it was also the moat for the western wall of the historical St. Augustine. Until Flagler decided to fill in the road. He filled it in. He did not like a creek/moat next to his hotel, the Alcazar. That's why it floods back here when it rains. It was like 2 feet of water earlier, a couple hours ago when it was raining.
Yeah, the interesting
So right here is this parking lot. At the end of the Civil War, for the first time in the state of Florida, they wrote the Emancipation Proclamation freeing the slaves right there. There's a plaque in there. They turned it into a parking lot last year, kind of a shame. In my opinion, they should have never done that. That was an historical site. To my left here, this roundabout portion of the building. This was the shower of the pool where the men would swim. It's now the Alcazar Pool Cafe. You can now eat where the pool used to sit. If you look up, you'll see lion heads on top of the building. You wouldn't notice that unless you looked up. That's how much Flagler cared about detail in his hotels.
The lion heads in the building.
Oh.
On the right is the Casa Monaco Hotel on the corner. Henry Flagler did not build it, he bought it. His best friend Franklin Smith, the same guy who built the Villa Zareta, bought it. Or built it, excuse me. So, it was he thought friendly competition with his best friend. Bad idea. Who owned the railroad? Mr. Flagler. When Smith built this hotel, he had no furniture. He ordered furniture by railroad. Train went missing, never showed up. After he opened up for business, he had no guests for 3.5 weeks. Almost went bankrupt. So he went to his best friend Henry and said, "Hey, Henry, you can help me out? I'm gonna go bankrupt." So Henry saved him from bankruptcy and paid 8 cents on the dollar, a fraction of the price it cost Mr. Smith to build it. And of course, Flagler owned the railroad. After he bought the hotel, about 3 weeks later, the missing train shows up with all the furniture. Go figure. Some friend, huh? That's supposed to be his best friend, too. Out of all 3 hotels, it's the only one that's a hotel to this day. And it's the only 5-star hotel in St. Augustine. Some have been proven to be intentional, but perception's everything, and that's how it's perceived to be. Left here is the government house. There's a free museum inside. In the late 1600s, the governor would stand on the back balcony facing the plaza and give the news to the people. Back in the 1600s, the only person who can read was the governor or the priest in the cathedral. It took about 1.5 to 3 years for news to make round trips from Spain to Florida. To my right is Avila Street, the oldest street in the nation, formerly called Hospital Road. And we'll be down that road shortly. Our next stop will be right here in the Central Plaza, formerly called the Plaza de la Constitution at the open market. During the British period that spanned the American Revolution, there was a guard tower here at one point. This was also the slave trade at one point. Bad history, but it's history nonetheless. This will be our stop. Open market at Central Plaza. All aboard for the red train. To my right, you can see a statue of Ponce de Leon looking for the Fountain of Youth, and that's why he's pointing north towards the Fountain of Youth Park. But when Don Pedro Menendez came here and he met the Native Americans, here, on average, were about 6 feet tall, and lived for 70, 75 years of age, twice the age of a Spaniard. So they believe they found the Fountain of Youth, and that's why the Fountain of Youth location, the park, is the location of the village of Saloy. To my right is the Cathedral Basilica coming up. There's a symbol above the main doors, 2 keys and a crown. That symbolizes the Pope can hold Mass here. Never has, but he can. We invited him 2 years ago on our 450th anniversary of our city's founding. He said no, of course. It's okay. He sent the Archbishop in his stead. There's a symbol right there above the doors. Now, I'm not Catholic, but it's very beautiful in there. Let's just go in there and just check it out. There's the other end of St. George Street, by that stoplight right there. To my left, you see that white pillar? It's called an obelisk, and that is a monument to the Spanish Constitution. During the Second Spanish period, the King of Spain was like, you know what? Let's try out democracy. Let's see if we like freedom. So he ordered those monuments to be built throughout all the colonies of Spain. After those 2 years, he's like, you know what? I don't like freedom anymore. I don't like democracy. I want to go back to being a hierarchy. I want to be king again. And so he ordered those monuments to be destroyed. It's the last monument in the world for the Spanish Constitution is still standing to this day. The people of St. Augustine refused to knock it down. Also, they used to execute pirates in the same spot before that monument was built.
That's nice.
If we ever caught pirates out in the bay, they killed them. I'm not sure if they beheaded them or hung them or shot them, but they killed them right over there.
That is Augustine.
So right here is the Trinity Episcopal Parish Church, formerly called the Church of England.
Ain't got a church entire
The steeple, the shingles of the steeple are the original shingles. One of the oldest churches in the nation. They changed its name after the American Revolution. Makes sense. England lost the war. Take your right turn on Abilene Street, the oldest street in the nation. Therefore, the oldest potholes. So that half the street is very bumpy. It's called Abilene Street in honor of our founder, Don Pedro Menendez. He was from Abilene, Spain. Formerly called Hospital Road, the hospital's to my left. The old Spanish military hospital. It was the best hospital of its time. If they couldn't fix what was wrong with you in under 4 minutes, they cut it off of you. Like your finger, for example. They cut it off. Or your hand, your arm, your leg, etc. You get the picture. Between me and you, I would not want to go to that hospital.
America.
This is our stop in front of the Peace Pie Ice Cream Sandwich Shop. That's such a mouthful to say. This is our stop. If you get off here, please board here. No longer board up there by the Olympic Defense. We just haven't moved our sign yet. I'll board for Red Train. Okay. And we're off. You see these shops to my left right here? These wooden doors with the bars on them? This is the location of the original jail until they moved it a mile out of town. The old jail right across the headquarters train station on San Marco. They moved it because of Henry Flagler. I'm not going to tell you now why. We'll tell you why now. I'll wait till we get to the old jail and talk about that. One of our stops. But they had a good reason for it. To my right coming up is a coquina stone wall. That was here almost as long as the Castillo de San Marcos, the fort on the bayfront. 65 men, women, and children were killed on these streets by pirates. They were fleeing from pirates, trying to get to the fort on the bayfront. If you look closely, you'll see quarter-inch size holes made by musket balls. And you'll see dents by cannonballs. Like right here is the best dent I can point out to you. Right there. Now, a musket ball is a 60 caliber round. Of course, it's not as accurate. The velocity is not as high as a 50 caliber round for a machine gun. But if you got hit with one, it really mess you up. Now the other half of the street is a residential street. I have to turn off my PA system from here on out to the bayfront. So enjoy the silence. You guys can talk, I cannot. And hold on tight, it's very bumpy.
Like anything?
Because this is residential.
What's
That
that
looks
mean?
for sale. We should look up and see how much it is.
What's that mean, residential?
People live here.
Why is this thing so stiff?
And I was out in Tombstone, Arizona, the Breakage Saloon. Remember the movie Tombstone when they watched that show, whatever? Bullet holes all in the ceiling, all over the floor. And that, have a beautiful day, everyone! Thank you.
Uh-oh, stuck on the wood.
I heard that, boy. I'm impressed.
It's like living in any tourist town. Like when I lived in Ocean City.
Okay, and we're back. Now we're at the bayfront. This is formerly called Bay of Saloy, which translates to Dancing Dolphin. It's a nice name, right? Changed its name to Bay Matanzas. Matanzas translates to bloody slaughter. Say the French came out here and they're going to wipe St. Augustine off the map. If they're successful, this would be a French history lesson, not a Spanish one. While the Huguenot cemetery beginning of the tour is named after the Frenchmen who were killed out here. They hit a freak thunderstorm like we had this morning. It came out of nowhere.
Look at
They
that
shipwrecked 12 miles south. So Don Pedro Menendez marched his men 12 miles south, like we said, is out of the sea, gave him two options. Accept the King of Spain as new king, and convert to Catholicism, or die. The French either said no and died with pride, or they just couldn't understand one another, because the French spoke French, and well, the Spanish spoke Spanish. He killed them all, threw their bodies out in the bay, and ran bloody red for 3 days, thus changed his name to Bay Matanzas. Bay of the Bloody Slaughter forevermore.